Okay, here we are. It's Wednesday, January 23rd. That's the United Nations. Inner City Press. We've written more than 10 stories about the UN today, and we've been invited to an event sponsored by who else? Amazon. Amazon, the new 115-pound gorilla of New York City with corporate welfare across the river. Anyway, they're having a film screening inside the UN, and we were invited. Take a look. They say, come and pick up your tickets. Come and pick up your tickets in DC1. So that's where we're headed. We've even left the email open, just to be sure. But it seems pretty straightforward. Amazon's a big company. Amazon is, it may get what it can in terms of corporate welfare, but, they're a content creator. This is the United Nations. They're screening a film with Steve Carell. Everything should be fine. What we're supposed to do is pick up our ticket and then go over there to the UN gate. So let's check it out. The instructions, which we showed so briefly, tell us to go to DC1. DC1 between 45th and 44th Street. And here we go. It's right next to the U.S. mission. The U.S. mission, of course, defender of freedom of expression, freedom of the press. Take a look. All right, we're going in. We're going in. Our name's on the list. We've received the email from UNODC, Simone Mimbassian. And so, here we go. Let's check it out. All right. Seems pretty straightforward. Should be pretty straightforward. Get him on. Yes, I am. Why not? I came here to pick up a ticket. This is on behalf of the UN or the owner of the building?
That's not the UN, sir. That's
Okay.
a private building.
Who owns the building?
Not the UN.
I know, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I'm not going to answer you that question. Do not record, sir.
Okay, I'm going to record from outside.
Yeah, you can do outside.
Absolutely. What's the owner of the building?
I'm not going to tell you, sir.
Why not?
I don't want to tell you. Please step outside, sir.
So I've come to pick up my ticket.
You get your ticket, then you step outside, sir.
I came to get my ticket.
Record, sir.
You tell me. You'd have to tell me. I was invited by Simone Mimbassian. I'm a journalist that covers the UN because I've written that the UN Secretary General is corrupt. That's why. But I should be able to do that. And it seems strange that Amazon would be participating. Touch my phone, buddy.
You cannot record,
I'm stepping
sir.
outside.
Step
No
outside,
problem.
sir.
Okay. Here we are at the UN Development Program, an organization which takes money for a Secretary General that has a conflict of interest with a Chinese oil company and beats up journalists who dare ask about it. Now we have a gentleman here. He wouldn't say if he works for the UN or who he works for, but what he did say is that he can grab my phone as I'm waiting for a ticket to a movie from Amazon. Amazon, you see, is a free speech company based on the West Coast. They're having a movie screening at the United Nations, and I was invited to it. But when I appeared, suddenly I didn't have a ticket. This guy, the phone grabber, now he's going to go talk to UN security. Maybe they can get Ronald Dobbins. He wouldn't. I asked him on camera until he grabbed my phone and broke it. Yes, please, please. Check it out. Absolutely corrupt. 100% corrupt. Let's conduct a few interviews here because the UN is corrupt. Antonio Guterres chooses journalists to beat up for asking him about his connection to Chinese oil companies. Do you work for UNDP? Do you think it's a good organization? Is it doing good work? Is Antonio Guterres corrupt? Did he have a journalist thrown in the street because he asked him about his corruption? Should he be embarrassed? Let's see. Is Amazon... Oh, please, please. Definitely. Let's close in on this guy. This is what the UN does. They grab people's phones. All right. Yep. NYPD. Let's check it out. We'll go straight out over here. No problem. Absolutely corrupt. They have a security guard named Ronald E. Dobbins. Look, let's film this guy. Yeah. Why don't you get a stick? This is Amazon in New York. They come to New York. They have a film screening with thugs. Why not have your film screening in Pyongyang? I don't get it. Look at this guy. I asked the guy who he works for. He's wearing a UN badge and he won't say who he works for. Very strange. Very strange. Extremely strange. Do you work for UNDP? Do you work for UNDP? Are you being paid with public funds? Let's check it out. Hey, look, we got a guy with a base. Disgusting. Now, let the record reflect. I came here invited to see a movie in the UN sponsored by Amazon. Amazon, the recipient of billions of dollars in subsidy to create content and innovation in New York. And when they partnered with the UN, it resulted in censorship and a sleazebag guard who wouldn't give his name grabbing my phone. Yeah, please. Excellent. Right, bring it on. Do you work for UNDP?
No.
Really?
Yes.
Do you work for the UN system? You're a consultant? Or you just work in the building? All right. No problem. Yeah, please. Bring it on. You're the one that grabbed my phone, sleazeball. Do you work for UNDP? What do you think of it? Does it generally do good work?
Probably the best organization for developing countries.
Right. What do you think of the Secretary General?
He's a great guy.
He is? Well, he had a journalist beaten up for asking him about his own financial records. Does that seem good to you? Is that what the UN should be about? Let's see. Amazon. Amazon.com. Let's check it out. Let's see who's coming out of UNDP at 7 o'clock. Look at this guy. Look at this bozo. That guy grabbed a phone. He's a censor. He should go work in Sisi's Egypt. Yeah, please. Please. It's great. Disgusting. Sir, do you work for UNDP? Do you think it's a good organization? Do you think Antonio Guterres should have journalists beaten up and thrown in the street? I'm wondering. I'm asking you. It's no problem at all. Let's ask these guys. Some could be diplomats. This is true. We'll let him go. We'll let him go. One guy was a diplomat. Diplomat is fine. Absolutely fine. Let's check it out. These are the guys. This is the Amazon crew. They're fully committed to freedom of the press. I'll have you know. As soon as they come to the UN, they turn into a bunch of thugs. Thugs. That's correct. Yes, please, file a report. They had a guy in blue there. I don't know. Maybe they own the sidewalk. Maybe Bill de Blasio will help Amazon beat up journalists on the sidewalks of New York. I don't know. Let's check it out. Come on out, guys. Great. Fabulous. Oh, they got to lock the door. Lock the door. Wait a second. It's a secret door. How many geniuses does it take to lock a door? They're coming out. Lock the doors. Lock it down. It's Amazon.com. Check them out. They must do this every evening at 7 p.m. Did you know that the UN throws journalists out for asking the wrong questions? Did you know? I know you're the comptroller of UNDP, and I'm wondering who signs off on all the travel. Mr. Chediak's travel, did you sign off on it? $160,000. $160,000 of travel. You live in a $2 million apartment. Some people wonder how it's possible. How is it possible? Mr. Darshak Shah, how is it possible? Just another day at the United Nations, where public money is put into the toilet and flushed down for a corrupt Secretary General who covers up the rape of children in Central African Republic. It's a travesty. It's a travesty. They take public money to cover up the rape of children in Central African Republic. They do. Do you work for UNDP? No. He's got on highlights. Let's check it out. More headphones. See, if you can't handle the cries, the screams of the very children. Today, for the last 2 days, I've asked the spokesman to please explain the sexual abuse case in South Sudan. They have the information, but they won't give it because they want to cover it up. Because Antonio Guterres, feminist, B- feminist with great inflation, is in fact entirely corrupt. There is no place where public money is wasted at greater speed for less impact than in this cluster of buildings set on the East River. Not a one. Let's check it out. You saw the comptroller of UNDP. This guy's been cashing the checks for decades. Decades. They can't even train their security guards not to try to break a journalist's phone. That's how corrupt they've become. But this time, Amazon is involved. Amazon.com, yes. They are delivering censorship to your door. Amazon.com, filling a box with public cash and using thuggish security guards to grab a journalist's phone. Shocking. Surprising? No. Not surprising. Disgusting. This is Antonio Guterres' UN. A guard who wouldn't even identify himself. It's true. Hey. This guy's been cashing the checks for a long time. I think he's the spokesman for UN Mine Action. It's quite possible. Let's check it out. But we've got this guy. Maybe I don't want to guess where the guy is from, except to say totally corrupt. We're going to interview individuals. Again, all we wanted to do is to see Beautiful Boy by Amazon.com. Amazon.com. What happened? They grabbed my phone, ma'am. By the way, they grabbed my phone and tried to turn it off. Amazon. Yes, it's true. Disgusting. You've got the wrong partner. It all started so friendly. I was waiting in line. They were checking the tickets. The woman promised to give an answer. That's all we asked for. If Amazon is going to censor the press, let's have an answer. But they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. All they could do is to get this guy, and I'll show him to you again. There he is. He's got his back turned to us now. Now he's trying to fix it up. He's making us, maybe he can call in the airstrikes. Get Dobbins over here. Get Mr. Drennan, the corrupt head of DSS, who can't even answer his mail about his guards. Go ahead and get them. We got the full 180. The full 180 coming back in. What's going on? Amazon.com, delivering censorship to your door. Amazon Prime censorship. This guard grabbed my phone as I stood in the lobby waiting to get my ticket. I wasn't even recording. I came to get my ticket, but there was a big problem getting the ticket. So I began recording. And then this thug, who won't even identify who he works for, grabbed my phone. It's the UN in a nutshell. Yes, it is. Now, maybe they can get Dobbins out here. Maybe they can get Drennan. Who can they get? I don't know. Let's see. Do you work for UNDP? What do you think of it? It's okay? What do you think of UN peacekeeping and abuse of children? Do you think they do enough to stop it? No, I'm serious. It does happen. I mean, it's your organization. Do you think they should do more? Do you think they should cover it up? Do you think somebody should go to jail for raping a child with a blue helmet on? Seriously. Well, we have no answer. To that, we have no answer. I don't know. I'm waiting. They were making calls. They were implying strongly that they could beat up anyone, even on First Avenue, even in the middle of the street. Because they're the United Nations. If they can rape children, if they can kill 10,000 people in Haiti, why can't they beat up a journalist on First Avenue? So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. But we're going to show you once again, the individual who grabbed a phone. This man has been training himself for censorship from the grave, from the beginning. Wouldn't even say what name he had on. Had on a UN pass tucked in behind. Censorship at the United Nations. Now, of course, they can grab a phone, but it'll be somebody else's problem. Nope. Came with a ticket. I was invited. I have the email. Antonio Guterres is totally corrupt. He runs a shipload of lawless, targeted sleaze right here on First Avenue. He's in Davos. Big Tony's in Davos, spending your money, getting ready for a Facebook Q&A. But the questions will all be about climate change, not how much money he stole, not why he didn't disclose his paid board membership in Gulbenkian Foundation. Of course not. Less accountable than a city council person. Less accountable than a dog catcher. Corrupt. The UN is corrupt. And this time, the purpose of this film, this short film, is to show that Amazon, just as Google before it, but at this time Amazon, receiving corporate subsidy from the city of New York, has partnered with a censorship organization which will grab a journalist's phone seeking to document. Now, they're having let's have a deep discussion. We've got a guy. There's a guy from security. Let's get it together. Let's get a nightstick. Maybe you can get some tear gas. Come on. Disgusting. Big Tony's out of town. Plausible deniability. Let's check it out. We're going to start a new one. This has been a pretty good broadcast, I think, from my point of view. Justice, baby. Let me explain. I came here to the UNDP to pick up my ticket to go to an Amazon film. And what happened? They didn't have the ticket. Then they said UN decided I couldn't come. I said, well, if you're Amazon, you should find out. Ask them why, at least. I'm a journalist. I cover the UN. I write 10 stories a day about the UN. Now, I do write about Guterres' corruption, but that's supposedly allowed in a free society. But the UN is not a free society, and Amazon never gave an answer. In fact, they deployed thuggish guards to grab my phone. And this is the new low of the United Nations. Let's see. He's coming through. What gave you the right to grab my phone, sir? Do you work for DSS? It's going to be easy to find out. You grabbed my phone and you turned it off, and it's called censorship. Did you know that they grabbed my phone in the lobby of this building and turned it off? I'm telling you, something has gone very wrong with the organization. I'm letting you know. I'm the same journalist I was before. Only under Guterres was I beaten up and thrown in the street. 203 days. I came to a film, and the guards of UNDP grabbed my phone and turned it off. That's the UN. That's today's UN. In the building that you work in. It's not acceptable, and I'm not going to stop. I will not. I honestly believe this organization, something has gone dreadfully wrong. The money is too good. I don't know what the problem is. But there's no rules. No one ever told me. No one told me why. No hearing, no appeal, nothing. Dictadura. Yeah. It happened right here. They won't even tell me if the guy works for DSS or some outside firm. He hid his badge and turned off my phone. I'm sorry to let you know, but okay. Well, there we have it. Just another day at the UN. A day of censorship and corruption. The UN, I can tell you, is corrupt from top to bottom and bottom to top. To be continued. So how'd you like the film?
Intensely heartbreakingly beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great book. What do you think of Amazon getting subsidy in Long Island City? $2 billion. Good?
I don't have enough information on that to really give a qualified.
Do you? No, I respect that. Do you live in New York? Check it out because it's your money.
I will do that.
Okay.
I only have time to think I know well.
Yeah. I totally. I understand. Here we are. They would lie in bed with any dictator. Paul Biya. They have. Antonio Guterres took the golden statue and covered up the death of thousands of Anglophone Cameroonians. Antonio Guterres is corrupt. And these guys, who I've respected a long time, I've seen them a long time, they're... Okay, and we're back. It's Wednesday, January 23rd. Inner City Press, which covers the UN, good, bad, and ugly, came tonight to cover a screening by Amazon Prime of Beautiful Boy. We were invited, and we went to the building over there. And when we went in, they said, yes, you're on the list, but somehow UN security didn't give you the ticket. And then they wouldn't explain why, and then a guard grabbed this phone and tried to stop it from filming. But we're back here at the exit, interviewing people, what they thought of the film, what they think of the subsidy to Amazon, what they think of the absolute corruption of the UN under Antonio Guterres. Here we are. We're here. We're here. The film has taken place. Anybody and his brother could get inside. We saw Elizabeth Dujarric get inside. We saw People flashing money in the lobby, getting inside. We had our phone grabbed by a UN security guard. But here we are. We're going to get film reviews, corporate welfare reviews, and UN corruption reviews here on the sidewalk. Now, they tried to imply that they could have us beaten up on the sidewalk in front of the UN, even on the other side of the UN. It's amazing. But we're going to keep asking what they thought of the film and what they think of the UN. These guys are thugs, but that's fine. That's another issue. What do you think of the film? What do you think of the UN? I definitely so. What do you think they could improve?
I think that the UN is myopic in a global way, which is very...
Yeah.
I wonder who the conversation's going to be too tomorrow.
Yeah. No, that's true.
What do you think of
I liked it a lot. I read the book. The book is amazing. It's an amazing book. I have to say that at the UN, I'm not impressed by it at all. As a journalist who covered it, I was thrown out for asking why the Secretary General took money from a Chinese oil company.
When were you thrown out today?
No, 203 days ago.
And they haven't let you back in?
They haven't. I was invited to the film. I went to pick up my ticket over there, and they said Amazon invited you, but the UN doesn't want you inside.
You're on the do not fly list.
That's correct.
Wow.
But it's secret, and there's no appeal, there's no hearing. Inner City Press.
Wow, that's really...
It's kind of amazing that they can get away with it. So
They have really no oversight.
no, none at all. None at all.
It's a bureaucracy upon a bureaucracy upon a bureaucracy. It's a world unto itself, and unfortunately, it's well-intentioned, but it never...
It's a great idea. There should be some global oversight of the U.S., but there's no oversight of the global oversight.
There's no oversight of the U.S. either. So,
Yeah.
So,
No, but there is. I mean, at least there's an opposition. The problem here is that there's no opposition. Countries just want to get jobs, and you know what I mean? Like, at least in Washington, like there's somebody... Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Inner City Press. Please check it out. Ask a question. My name is Matthew Lee. Yep. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. No, I'm not trying to promote myself, but I thanks for stopping. Okay. Great. Thank you. All right then. You see? It's not so hard. Anyone can understand it. A global organization that has no oversight is corrupt. And under Antonio Guterres, it's more corrupt than ever. The broadcast continues. And again, I never disliked UN security. I never did. I was very nice to them. I reported on people who didn't get promotions. I tried to help the lower downs in UN security. Where is Ronald Dobbins? Where is Mr. Valentin Stanku, who did an interview about what happened? Where's Ron, whatever his name is, Ron Perry? Nothing. What do you think of the film?
Like it a lot. Because I work in the field, so it's intense.
Do you think it lived up to the book? I mean, I read the book.
Sorry.
Okay.
What's your connection?
I'm a reporter who covers the UN, but I was thrown out of the UN for asking why the Secretary General was corrupt. But I still cover the UN. All right. Journalism. All right. Thanks a lot. And there you have it. 203 days is too long. I've been polite. I write stories for DSS in South Sudan.
The film was excellent.
Excellent
amazing.
movie. Terrific movie.
Great.
Powerful.
It was emotional.
What do you think of the UN? I'm sorry to change it, but I want to get you guys.
It was dated.
You and you can keep.
Good one.
It was gorgeous,
doesn't love
but
the
it's
UN,
dated. It needs
My
cleaning.
best,
Oh.
no, my best. Who are you with? No.
I'm with Inner City Press. I'm a journalist that covers the UN
Okay.
quite closely.
Can I
but I
just
was
tell
beaten
you?
up and thrown out of the UN
Why?
because I said that the Secretary General might be corrupt.
Who's the
Gutierrez.
president?
The current one is Antonio Guterres. He comes from Portugal.
Oh, why would that
I know they might know. They're not all corrupt. I mean, oh well. Good
There are
one.
very few
This
that
guy
know.
is
Very
a keeper,
few.
but I want to. No, I mean, what happens is they bring people in, but you can only become Secretary General if the 5 big powers don't object to you.
Right.
So they choose weak people that are not going to criticize China and Russia or the UK or the US or France. So I started reporting on it, and the next thing I know, I was beaten up and thrown out.
Literally beaten up?
Literally, physically physically, my shirt was torn, my laptop was broken, and I was thrown out through this gate. At the UN.
That's the noble profession you've chosen, my friend.
It is, and I'm happy to do it. I'm not. I'm not crying.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Okay.
But check it out. Pay attention to the UN. They need some oversight.
Can I tell you?
Please.
In my old age,
Yes.
this is the hope of humanity.
I know. I love the idea of it.
And if
I'm not
not,
against the
we're
idea,
gone.
but it has to be. It has to be held accountable. Do you agree?
I agree.
The only. Okay.
100%.
Okay. Great. Thanks a lot, guys.
Did you?
You see, people know that the UN has to improve. How much money did Antonio Guterres spend flying to Lisbon? 17 times. Why didn't he disclose that he took money from a company in Portugal that sold its oil company to a Chinese firm that paid bribes to John Ash, who died mysteriously under a barbell on his throat? Never asked. Maybe we'll get another review. We'll be polite. Got to be polite. What do you think of the film?
Oh, it was really, I mean, it was amazing that it addressed an issue that was really important.
What do you think of the UN, generally?
Well, I think that, they want to do good.
I agree.
But are they doing good?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. There are a lot of good talk, but not too much action.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Some bad action too. They brought cholera to Haiti. They killed people.
Yeah.
But try to hold it accountable. Just do whatever you can.
There's so many issues about it, but
it's important though.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. You see, we do it. We do it and we do it. And this is how we do what we do. What we do is to ask people what they think of this United Nations, which beats up journalists in a disgusting fashion. And yet, people know it sucks, but they don't care because it's so marginal. But we won't rest until justice is served. So here we are. This is the same guy that was in the lobby with the signs of Amazon as they censored the press. This is the same individual. They're closing the gate. I don't know how much of that interview with the French people. That's it. It's all over. There it is. There it is. The UN. Corrupt. From top to bottom and bottom to top. This guy was part of the promotional film. Let's check him out, maybe. Since the UN is over, let's check this guy out. We'll go for the final interview. C'est fini. Sir, I just want to ask you. This will be the final. You'll have the final word. What's your understanding of the access of the press to this event this evening?
We were involved with that part.
You weren't involved with that part of it? I mean, you were standing in the lobby.
Correct.
Okay, you saw people that had been invited and told to come. And again, I'm not blaming you. I know it wasn't your decision. But how does it work? No, I know. I would have asked you earlier, except that it was, as you saw, a guard in UNDP grabbed my phone and turned it off. So I'm just asking for it can be a single line. What's your understanding? No, I'm actually asking him. I only because I recognize him from the lobby.
We're done. We've had a really long day.
You've had a long day, but you came to the UN and you censored the press. So, how do you feel about it?
We did not do that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Right in the lobby, a journalist invited to come to the film Beautiful Boy was told it couldn't attend and had its camera turned off by the UN. Is that Amazon? I believe that our educational film for this evening is complete. Nobody wants to say who they work for. But I'll say who I work for. Inner City Press. And we will not rest until Antonio Guterres is in jail because he's corrupt. And he's corrupted each of these content providers. To be continued.